Sometimes I see you in baju kemeja lah, whatever lah. Huh? New shirt, okay. Huh?
But I never use it.
You never use that. That's cool lah. You put on the tie and the jacket, and then you have a statesman there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we are ready. You have the file with you?
Yeah, it's with me.
Oh, okay. Okay, what happened is now it's 10:10. So we aim to have your presentation within 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, let's see how you do. You can do whatever you do first, and then we will adjust accordingly. Right?
Okay.
Okay, this is the pre-Viva, not Viva yet.
Must be in 15 minutes.
I will comment more on that one. Yeah, if you're lucky, 15 minutes. It could be 10 minutes.
Really?
Yes, it could be 5 minutes. It could be no minutes at all. Yeah, I'm
It could be.
Yeah, it could be. They just keep going.
Immediately to discussion.
Straight, yeah. That's another possibility. But we will discuss all those.
Wow.
We'll discuss all those.
So how do I address people?
Oh yeah, I mean you don't have to worry about that.
No,
So okay, so there'll be the chairperson. There'll be simply, in academic environment, just call everyone professor. Then you say until they say, "Oh, I'm not professor yet." No, I can't.
Yeah.
So,
Pro.
I stopped doing that because I think it would take a long time for me to say, "Hey, you do this." I just address everyone as prof chairman, prof chairperson, whatever. Can be a woman, can be a man. Yeah. And then there'll be examiners. In your case, be one external, one internal, right? And one representative from our CPR, right? And me, and the secretary. Secretary is Puan Rosa. Secretary. So that's the committee there. So it probably will be here. It's possible it could be here or it could be down there in our CPR meeting room. So that's a possibility. So, but you continue. I won't worry about we are not doing like a rehearsal for the Prime Minister ke Agong. You just do what you do is fine. Yeah, that part I don't worry about. You're okay, Salma, so that part don't worry.
Okay.
Just let's focus on the substance of your work first. Okay, come.
Okay, so Prof. Chairman and members of the committee. My thesis is on ulam consumption and edible gardening among urban dwellers in Penang, Malaysia. Okay, Penang. Okay, next. So my research aims and objectives. My aim is to investigate the practice of ulam-focused edible gardening among urban dwellers in Penang and its implications for promoting health and sustainability within urban environments. My research objectives to explore why urban dwellers in Penang engage in ulam-focused edible gardening. Secondly, to advance the integration of ulam into urban diets in order to foster healthier lifestyles. And thirdly, to advocate ulam-focused edible gardening as a distinctive strategy for improving community resilience within urban settings. So I started by, during the pandemic, there was an ulam gardening club which I also helped to create. And this club, there's a network of urban gardeners. Next. So these urban gardeners became very involved in what they were doing, and this group is about 150 people, but not everybody is so active. So I focus on the most active members. Next. Okay. In my literature review, I looked at a number of documents, but such as this very early and rare document, very difficult to find, Malay leaf and other vegetables and the analysis. So just before the Second World War, there was the first scientific agricultural document publication on ulam. And secondly, now the agricultural authorities have also recognized the importance of ulam. Next. Okay, so this is an example of ulam platter with 2 types of sambal, and it's actually a plate of raw things, raw vegetables, raw greens. They could be roots and shoots and raw shoots, and it is similar to the crudité in European salad. Next. Okay, so why is it so important to understand ulam? Because eating more vegetables has been linked to mitigating chronic disease. So Malaysia is suffering from a pandemic of lifestyle, metabolic, or chronic diseases, partly due to obesity. Next. And in the Malaysian dietary guidelines, in fact, in 2020, the dietary guidelines have shifted the emphasis and shifted the food hierarchy in terms of encouraging more fruits and vegetable intake rather than carbohydrates. Next. Next. Okay. So in terms of methodology, I'm using a phenomenological approach and abductive reasoning. In terms of ontological assumption, I'm taking the perspective of a subtle realist. In terms of epistemological assumption, this social inquiry is designed to describe constructed reality and incorporate adequate or legitimate evidence. And in terms of research paradigm, it's interpretivist, all these long words. And the researcher adopts naturalist or faithful reporter stance. Next. Okay, so I've chosen 24 through purposive sampling. I've chosen 24 participants from an edible gardening network, including home gardeners, apartment dwellers with balcony gardens, and members of urban farming collectives. And saturation was reached after approximately 20 interviews, but I just did another 4. So these were semi-structured in-depth interviews, providing an understanding of the participants' perspectives on ulam consumption, accessibility, and its role in urban diets. The data analysis was conducted iteratively with significant quotes bracketed, categorized, and thematically coded to uncover key motives and meanings behind ulam consumption. And all these interviews were audio recorded with consent, and the identities were anonymized. Next. Okay, so this is some pictures of the interviews being conducted. Next. Okay. So I would usually start the interview is, why are you so interested in urban gardening? And the main factor was the exposure to gardening when they were growing up. And then second was that they started edible gardening during the pandemic lockdown. Then the rest would be like, they had a health crisis, so they were looking for natural solutions, or they had taken up studies or a course on edible gardening, or they were just have just retired and they took up gardening. But these reasons are not mutually exclusive, so they are overlapping. Next. Okay, so this table shows the meanings of ulam consumption. I've shown the quotes and also the categories. I've selected the quotes and then categorized them, and then after that I've abstracted them. And the abstraction, the abstracted constructs sense of well-being through plant as food connection and plant as culture connection. Next. I've also looked at ulam, the idea of ulam, how it should be, what should be eaten, how it should be eaten, and based on the Levi-Strauss idea of the raw, the cooked, and the rotten. Okay, but I've just tweaked it a bit to introduce a new idea, which is to add the idea of wild. So when it comes to ulam, what is the most desirable, the most exotic is wild and raw. So if it is wild and raw, oh, this is like really the exquisite ulam, you know. But in the ulam platter, there are also complementary ulams like such as the more conventional vegetables and also boiled roots. So there are also cooked items, but the main thing is the wild and the raw items. Next. Okay, so then after that, as part of the interview, then I asked them about the gardening part, and these are the relevant quotes, and then from there, the second order constructs are empowering ability, it's therapeutic, it's de-stressing, or it's convenient. It gives me a sense of self-sufficiency. I can just get the food very easily. And it also gives me experience of nature. So these second order constructs are abstracted into plant as food connection through personal agency. So they get a sense of personal agency or a sense of well-being through personal agency. They can de-stress themselves by doing this gardening, and then self-sufficiency because they get both plant as food and also sense of well-being through personal agency. So personal agency is a very important thing. And then also just simply the nature connection, just going out into the garden and feeling connected with nature. Next. So there's, I think I should add a sentence. This is actually the social aspects of edible plant gardening, which is that some of them said that, they got to know the other members of the network. So connecting with other ulam gardeners was a very important thing for them to stay in the group. And then sharing and receiving surplus food. So within that group, the members are very generous. They say, I've got extra, I just dug up all these gingers, and then I've got extra, come and get from me. And then when somebody wants plants or seeds, somebody will usually offer. And then there's also a lot of exchange of knowledge. So this is abstracted into a sense of well-being and sense of community. Next. Okay, so among the members of this group, they have their own language. There's sort of the different meanings. They add different meanings to the language. So for example, if they say it's edible, it means it's not ornamental, because they're also doing ornamental gardening like flowers which are not edible. So if they say it's local, or it's local means it could be naturalized as well. So these are the list of all the intersubjective meanings. Next. Okay, and this is the distribution of the urban farmers. Many of them are around there are 2 urban farms. The first one in the south, when the group started, there was only 1. And then since then, they've started another one in the north. Next. Okay, so one of the people who were interviewed was involved in green, climate sustainability, what is it? I forgot. Reducing temperatures through urban greens, and if it's bioclimatic design. So if the greens are edible, that's an extra point in the green building index in terms of architecture. Okay. And then one of the people interviewed was also involved in helping to design the new urban park in the north.
This is the park, right?
I'm not sure in the end what design they used, but this is one of the designs that they did in Sungai Kelean, in Tanjung Muar. Yeah.
I should not intervene yet. You complete.
It's okay. Today you can intervene. Thursday cannot. Okay. So one of the interviewees, research participants I should call them, one of the research participants is just living in an apartment building. So actually they use the grounds of the apartment to grow vegetables, and then she was talking about the conflicts with the neighbors, how difficult it is for them to try to find just a spot where, they won't be disturbed and the vegetables won't be stolen. Next. Yeah. So this research participant is just doing what they call container planting, which is that they find any kind of container, pots or styrofoam boxes, and then just plant, and it's in the back lane. Next. So these are the different scenarios of how they're doing the planting. So this person lives in a corner terrace house and has a very wild garden and believes that the more you mix up the plants, the better in terms of preventing insects. Next. Yeah. And then this is some pictures from the urban park in Sungai Ara, where the community share the produce. They're so proud. They have picnics together, and it keeps the senior citizens very active. Otherwise, they would be just staying alone in the house and being depressed. So instead, they come together, and that sense of community makes them, gives them a sense of well-being. Next. Okay, so then after that, there's another set of urban gardeners, and these are the people who are very active in reaching out. So in this case, it's as a man, his son is blind, so he planted this. He was very active as an edible gardener because he wanted the son to be able to taste, to smell, to taste all these vegetables. And then one of the other members volunteered to give cooking classes to a group of blind participants because through this connection, between the two. Next. Okay, and then this research participant organized a site visit for us to the Rolau urban farm. Next. Okay, so come to facets of Ulam gardener consciousness. So I've created social actor typologies based on the kind of activities that they do. So for example, the first set is culinary guardians. So they tend to be cooking as well as gardening, and they tend to, when they grow up, they were already doing this. So the garden is an extension of the kitchen. So they are more focused on the end result, the food, okay? And they are very, it's like they have already a slow food ethos. And they are very willing to share their knowledge. So second is the seeker of remedies. And these people are those who are looking for those special plants wherever they could be. So they are the expert foragers. They will go into like when they go hiking, they go and look for some, unusual plants. And so they are the most knowledgeable in terms of medicinal plants. Then you have the concerned food citizens, and these are people who are already quite environmentally aware of the problems with the present food system. So they know that it is sort of industrial food complex. They are producing, hyper-processed food, things that you shouldn't be eating. So when they had this experience of getting into edible planting themselves, before that they just know it in theory. But after this, they become even more empowered as consumers, as stewards, and as sharing as part of the common ethos. And then there are those who are garden proud, and these people, they are very good at offering. They don't need anything. They have everything that they need. The garden is so spick and span, it's very tidy, and so they are not the one to go foraging. They won't go hiking and look for wild plants in the jungle, but they keep the garden. It's very beautiful, and they know what they want. Okay. Then you have the community catalysts. So the community catalysts, their strength is in the community itself. So they really want to promote this kind of group, people get together to garden, they have gardening projects, they are the ones that bring people together. And then the ecosystem thinkers, these are the more conceptual people who, they are also very food literate consumers, and they are strong environmental stewards. And so they try to think on behalf of society in general, like, okay, this is what the society might need or this community might need. Okay, next. So when I started out, I had these probing concepts of nutritional health, heritage foodways, sustainable living, active lifestyle, nature enjoyment. And then from this research, I have come up with these emerging concepts, which is very close to the meaning of ulam consumption and edible gardening. That is plant as food connection. So when they eat the plant, they feel a connection, or plant as culture connection. The plant has a lot of cultural connotations, and it reminds them of, their experience growing up. So they have a very rich background in terms of gardening. And then and also the nature connection, which is felt by many people. And then they also have a sense of well-being, sense of personal agency, and sense of community. So all these ideas actually overlap. It's just that it's stronger in some, certain things are stronger in some people and certain things are stronger in others. Next. Okay, so I've constructed this very beautiful diagram as so ulam gardener consciousness, how all these concepts, plant as food connection and so forth, feed into the ulam gardener consciousness. The sense of personal agency, I put it at the bottom because that is what drives them to, have, it drives them to, to have this, that means they have the power to, go to nature, to help to build community, to enrich this idea of plant as culture, or to enhance their sense of well-being. But it all comes back to plant as food connection, because plant as food connection is the experience of growing and, growing your own food and eating what you have grown. Next. Okay, so this is a picture of ulam by the vegan ulam. So even the sambal is vegan and it's pre-set. And this is was served during, but it's not in our group, it's a different group lah. Is served during the 7th day of Chinese New Year as the, what do you call it? I forgot. That 7th day.
Yeah.
Gisang.
Yeah.
So this is, instead of gisang, they serve this. So it's just to illustrate that the idea of ulam can be taken further. And this is a vegan version of ulam. Okay, next. And these are members of the group. I think most of them are members, maybe not all. But they also take part in, this is in the tropical spice garden, the plant and seed exchange. So they have become very active people in terms of networking and, promoting this idea of, growing your own food. Next. Okay, so recommendation 1 is to, so the conclusion, actually this is all the conclusion lah, okay? So the recommendation 1, to advance the integration of ulam into urban diets to foster healthier lifestyles. So actually the Malaysian dietary guidelines have very, really emphasized the increase of vegetable intake for health purposes. And then, but it just say, take this, it's very prescriptive. Take how much vegetables and fruits, and you can also incorporate ulam. But to actually encourage people to mainstream this ulam appreciation, you need a lot of insights to increase the appeal, right, of ulam. So insights from the research I've done can be used for crafting a public health campaign to take more ulam as part of your vegetables. And the next one? Next. Recommendation 2 is to advocate ulam-focused edible gardening as a distinct strategy for improving community resilience within urban settings. So in fact, there is already a movement. People are more interested to grow their own food, whether as part of community farms or on their own balcony. And there's also a Malaysian policy initiative to introduce targeted urban agriculture programs. So, but how do you incorporate ulam into this kind of initiatives? So it requires insight into urban food growing movement, which is nurtured by synergies between healthy eating and active lifestyle. And so the insights from my research can be used to promote ulam focus in food growing initiatives. So the end. That's it.
Pucuk digital, ulang data. Yeah, that's good.
How many minutes are?
I think more than 20 minutes.
More than 20 minutes.
So, let me see. So we started at 13 minutes past 10,
Nice.
and at 36 minutes past 10. So overall 23 minutes, right? Yeah, that's way
Way too long.
above.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, where do we start? There are different parts that we want to
Okay.
look into, right? I mean, this is something you do want to share if they give you the time, right?
Okay.
So we might want to might want to start with how much time? Well, if the chairperson opens the door for longer presentation, we will ask for it, right?
Okay.
So for instance, the chairperson will say, usually in CPR, how long is the presentation? I will say 20 minutes. Or say something between 20 to 25 minutes. I can say that, right? But there might be characters in there, as in people from CPR present that day, right? No. They might, we might contest the idea. Especially the director's representative lah, because the secretary usually were okay, Puan Rose is okay, but the director's rep or the director, yeah. But the director is usually okay, but the director's rep sometimes they are depending on who the rep is. So,
Who's the director?
the director is Azim lah, Prof. Azim lah.
Oh, you mean you'll be there lah?
So we have the director or the representative of the director.
Okay.
Right. So certainly not me because I'm the supervisor. So he will, if he is not present, he will appoint somebody else. So now we're just talking about the context of time given, right? So whatever it is, you do want to prepare for a 15-minute preparation PowerPoint, right?
Okay.
Now that said, the idea of presentation is what is the idea? It's not certain, right? So what you want to do is prepare for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes presentation, right? Yeah, I have been through all those possibilities.
15 minutes, 5 minutes lah.
That 15, 10, 5.
Okay.
So yeah, you prepare for that one.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. You also need to prepare for the case where they say, we have read your work, right? Or the chairperson, the pandai-pandai chairperson might say that. The examiners have read your work, so we go straight to the question and answer, the discussion. That is also a possibility. Some chairperson might want to impose his ideas or her ideas. So that's another possibility. So we want to be prepared for those possible scenarios. So be prepared for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or no no presentation at all, right? So, okay, so let's go to the essence of the presentation first. So, what do you need to have for the presentation, right? Now, I kind of outlined like 6 or 7 items to you, right? So if you want to go through back the one that I point out to you, that one, another.
When was that?
Huh?
When was that?
Oh, no, before this presentation, right? Right before we arrange for this one.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I sent you that. So you do need to have the title page, that's usual.
Oh, I don't remember getting that.
That's in there. Yeah, right before that. Resent to you. I actually address it to you, that one. So there's a title page, there's intro, background, problem statement, research questions, research objectives, methodology, key findings, and key theoretical contributions. So those are the.
Okay, title page, intro, background,
Yeah,
research
I'm
aims.
sending to the.
Oh,
This is already in the WhatsApp, yeah, so I'm sending it to you. Right? So the title, intro and background, problem statement. Right? Make sure you have problem statement. I'm not sure you have problem statements just now. Did you?
What's the problem statement?
You need to have problem statement. Right? You need to have that. Then you need to have research questions and research objectives together. You can put in one slide. So methodology, you do have methodology. I think you have 2 or 3 slides on methodology. So you want to keep it just to maybe 2 slides will be enough, no more than that. Then the key findings and key theoretical contributions.
Okay.
That's where you want to emphasize more, right? So what you have here is that whole presentation with the pictures and all that, which I like. Right, this is the full presentation. So what you want to do, you can still keep this one, right? So this is the 23-minute presentation. You do want to reduce it further, right? And still want to further. General rule of thumb: 1 slide is about 3 minutes. General rule of thumb, depending on how compact or how dense your slides are. Right? So if you think about that, so. It's 20 minutes, so you have one PowerPoint for 20 minutes, the other one 50 minutes, one 10 minutes. So that's, it's like it's a better plan. Better plan. And when the enemy attack you that way, we present this one, and then attack you, they have another one, and they have different defense. But the spirit is actually not necessarily we are not fighting with that, but we are in the Sun Tzu philosophy. It helps in terms of this one, because it is called a defense, right? Of defense, right? You're not doing any offensive work at all. It's all completely defensive, right? So how do you defend yourself? So the strategy is based on defense. So they give you. I will as much as possible negotiate for more time. But if they say 15 minutes, usually it's 15 minutes lah. Usually they'll say between 10 to 15 minutes. So you're ready with the 10 to 15 minutes, right? Okay. So the intro, background. So this is actually not too long. If it's 10 minutes, it's not too long. You can see if it's 5. It's about 7 slides here, so each slide is 3 minutes, so 7 times 3 is already 20 minutes, right? So the intro you can kind of skip quickly, right? So you want to be able to focus more on your theoretical and findings. Findings and theoretical can be put together. So you want to have maybe 2 or 3 slides. We're talking about the minimum ones, minimum presentation. So you want to have that. If a methodology, you want to reduce your methodology to 1 slide, that's fine too. That's fine too. You don't have to have a long methodology. Now, what you do have, which is very, very good actually, right? Because you have a lot of findings, a lot of theoretical findings, conceptual findings to theoretical contribution, right? So what you want to do is
Put the words on the page.
Just highlight theoretical contribution 1, theoretical contribution 2, theoretical contribution 3, right? Just do that. So that will immediately answer the question. And one of the common questions, very, very common, but common enough to say it's common, is that question: what is your theoretical contribution? What have you or they can ask, what have you contributed to knowledge, or a different version of that question. So you say, well, I have 7 points here, 7 theoretical contribution or 7 conceptual contribution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And you want to label it because you do have a lot here, right? I mean, you come up with typologies, right? And your typology, you want to enumerate. I mean, you want to listen down instead of just putting bullet point or just
typologies.
You have different like social actor typologies,
So what do you need to?
You just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, so that they are the numerical type examiners.
Oh, numerical.
Like that. So
Number the typology.
yeah, number like that, something like this. We have a lot of this in the tables.
Okay.
Just put in the numbers.
Okay.
So some examiners like that.
Okay.
I'm here to help you in, that's all.
Okay.
So I you want to understand the examiners, sometimes the examiners like this, and the examiners not like that. Sometimes examiners are very particular, the spelling and all that, so it should be typologies instead of typology, that kind of thing. Typologies, yeah. And one of the examiners is actually Ulamna, right? And I can see her picture there, but I don't mention who.
I see.
you know what I mean, right? But she's not in the examiner lah. But it's the type of person that would.
That's the type of person.
the type personality type with your grammar. You're not talking about that type of examiner, your grammar, your very particular about that, your citations. There are people like that. But here we're just talking about the PowerPoint first, right?
Okay.
So I highlighted the essential. So you want to make your theoretical contributions, your findings, more systematic, easily digestible by the examiners. You can call them key findings, you can call them theoretical contributions, right? I would want you to include the word theoretical contribution or something. You can say theoretical contributions / key findings, you can say that. Because many, not many, if not most, are interested in how have you contributed to knowledge, not just as empirical level, but conceptual and theoretical. But you're safe enough because you're doing masters, but you have a very rich source of data and findings, and you definitely have developed. Usually, you will end up with second order construct. Now you have third order construct, right? It's like even higher level analysis, right? And you have all the food as the plant as food connection. Those things you can 1, 2, 3, 4.
Emerging concepts,
Put the numbers there, and you can put the numbers there. Emerging concepts.
Okay.
Right? Instead of just emerging, put key emerging.
Emerging.
You can put that one. I think this is more than just concept, the essences or something. Right? This is not just because you have more than like hundreds of different concepts in there, right? But this one is the essence, right? Because you're doing phenomenology, this is almost like a second or third level, third order construct, right? So maybe the word is not concepts anymore, it's emerging essences or something like that. Because phenomenology captures essences. Right?
So the thing is, I describe them as concepts here.
Okay. put a slash
Slash
essences.
essences, okay.
Okay. So this is your strength. This you have a this is superior. You want to highlight this, and this is actually the most important part of the research lah. Your findings kan, and you created and you have the circles thing. This is and you have a circle there, which is actually this one. There, yeah. So you need to decide which one you want to drop from your slides, Salma. And you might want to make this one the main one.
Make this the main one?
It's one of their main theoretical contribution, right? So it's like the concepts, emerging essences. Yeah. Then you can relate back to your methodology, phenomenology, inductive research, right? So this is also very rich. So I'm very confident this part will be a very strong part of your thesis. Let's look at some other more specific part before I go to the 12 principles that I would review many times before anyone goes into Viva. Your research question number 3. You did use the word advocate, yeah? In your thesis, use the word advocate there. C-A-B-C. Instead of ABC, put 1, 2, 3, right?
1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3, yeah. Make sure it's the bullet there is removed. You might have some very picky, very detail-oriented examiner. I'm not, but I'm here to make you see that. I'm much more. Some people consider me tadi, but no, I'm not tadi. I'm just substantive. This is not the most important part of a thesis. The dot, the C, the format. But in order to win in Viva, you need to look at those things because there's those characters. The examiners. There's examiners. I'm really annoyed. with the voice, with all that, Oh man. sorry. But that's the reality, right? You use the word advocate, in your thesis as well. You use the word advocate.
I mean, copy from my thesis.
Copy, okay. I really overlook this one. I think advocate is not a.
It's not a good word.
It's not a research question, research objective to use for research because advocate can mean something else. Let's see
to advance ulam first.
Maybe to advance, yeah.
Okay.
But they might come and ask you when you say advocate, what do you mean? So maybe I think you can use the word advance, because advocate sounds like advocacy, activism, right?
Exactly.
Then it's a different kind of project. Drop the research aim. Drop the research aim. So you put research objectives and research questions. We put them together. Research objectives.
So no need this.
Remove the research aim.
Remove. Okay. Remove
the research aim. I know this aims and objectives, and UK uses that too. I do remember my supervisor said it's synonyms. Aims and objectives are synonyms, which I agree with it. Yeah. He himself didn't know why we use the word research. Aims and objectives is one of the things. So. However, in USM tradition, we use research questions and objectives. Okay. Or research objective questions. Research question and objective.
So which one is the question?
You just take. I think I put and commented on this one last time too.
Is it?
Yes. I remember this one is.
You said to shorten. I had a lot of research questions, and you said no, just shorten them into research aims and objectives.
Not sure I used the word aims and objectives, but do you have research questions in there?
No, I threw out all the research questions.
Alamak, you threw out, okay?
But did you read my? Have you read?
Okay, I'm not sure. I overlook the part lah kalau kan tu lah. Oh, you don't have research question. You sure?
It's
You
not,
might have
it's not
it.
here, it's not here.
Okay, let's really
You
look
mean
at
questions? Okay, so
research questions
what
are
are research
basically
questions?
research objectives turned into questions. So like
Oh,
this one, to explore why urban dwellers, I think they will ask you to change all those things. To explore why, I think
so
I
those
did.
are questions or objectives?
These are objectives, so
So what-
why urban dwellers in Penang engage in ulam focus at the
Oh,
like that. Basically, it turned objectives
Yeah,
into questions,
okay.
right? I remember this, I gave you feedback, Salma, you need this one. Because of this, I'm very particular
Then
on this one.
how to advance, right? How to advance? Then
Which
how
one,
to-
which one?
Second one, how to advance, and then how to advance. So that's a question, no? Comes a question.
The urban diet, oh, that's not a good question too. I think I did lah, you probably missed out from ini. Anyways, never mind, then this is a bit too late now, it's already in your
Too late.
thesis. So, these are not, so to advance the integration, this is all looks like some advocacy thing, all this.
Okay, how
Except
to?
for the first one,
Okay, why?
What you want to do is,
Because you said must have policy objectives. That's
only
why
the
I-
last one, policy objective, only the last one. Right, so research, so the idea of having research question is you want to say, look, my research have produced the findings have answered my research questions. That's it. So when you answer research questions, you have delivered your research. That's the thing. So let's see how you can transform that into your research question. I think we used the word meanings, right? Last time, what are the meanings? I think we talked about this one. What are the meanings? Urban dwellers attached to ulam or something like that, right? Ulam, something like that. What are the meanings? Instead of why, we change it to what are the meanings urban dwellers.
Maybe it would be the edible food
Yeah. So,
gardeners. What are the meanings edible gardeners attached to?
yes.
Ulam consumption. What
Ulam
are the
consumption.
meanings?
Yeah.
Edible gardeners attached to.
Yes. So your findings will support that, right? Right? So we want to make sure that the findings answer the research questions. Then it'll be fine, right?
Okay.
So put that one. What is this? Integration of ulam into urban diets in order to foster healthy diet. Advanced integration. Okay.
So the third one is what are the meanings edible gardeners attached to food growing?
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
So what are the meanings urban dwellers attached to edible gardening, right? Or ulam focused edible gardening. So you have all the meanings there.
So that means there's only two lah.
There's the second one as well.
So one is ulam consumption, which first I talk about ulam consumption separately, then I talk about edible gardening separately. Oh, and the third one is the social meanings, but I sort of came across.
Yeah.
The part is about building network and then sharing and all that, but that one actually came out of the first one because I felt that the first one is not adequate to describe what's going on lah.
Okay.
So what are the?
Can you send your thesis again to me? Not that one.
Oh.
Send a soft copy to me.
Okay.
Send the soft copy to me. Make sure it's a final soft copy.
Yeah, the one that I sent for printing.
Okay, send that one to me. You sending it through email or WhatsApp?
Email.
Okay.
What is the name of that? The printer. the US E1, that's right. It is E1.
I'll wait for you to send. What's happening? And there's a lot of communication going on here.
It's okay. There's a war. It's the war.
War?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so send. You guys send it?
Yeah, just send.
Okay, alright. Let me see that.
Oh, it says printing to hard copies. Sorry, the subject title is printing to hard copies.
Okay, I don't see that. It's taken a long time before. Huh? You send it to Reevany and you send.
Okay, I send it by. I'll send it by WhatsApp.
How come you haven't reached here? You send it to Reevany at usm.my, right? Tu baru sampai.
Baru sampai.
Okay, good. Let me see. Alright, that's good. Okay, good.
So you can see it here also.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a search. What's the password now? You have a password, right?
Oh, there's a password. Wait, it's there.
Is there.
That is it, because I deleted the content.
What password is that?
Password. Oh, I have to send it to you. I send it by WhatsApp.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, okay. Yeah. Should do a simpler password next time. This is name. It's the Ulam 2005 or something like that, right? Now come up with something human friendly. Right?
No such thing.
They
You said it's not human friendly.
they think in a technical. If you see the humans are becoming robots are becoming humans.
Robots are becoming human.
Right.
When you ask them, they are so kind, they tell you everything how you need to do it, they break it down for you.
Yeah. And humans are becoming all these technical beings. It's just,
What they need is like the robot they can understand how do you navigate USM. It's like you go from this department, then you go to that department, then you go to that department.
Yeah. So, okay, let me do a search. Okay. You might have it. So, okay, let's do it. Alright. There you go. Alright. Okay, research.
Chapter 1.
Huh? Yeah, chapter 3. Chapter 3, yeah. Okay. So this is what they might ask you. Okay, so we should come up with the research questions. We want to come up with research questions that correspond to the findings. So
Okay.
what are your findings? Let's
again.
look at the findings again. Your findings are mainly about the what is the finding?
Okay, the first one is why do these urban dwellers engage in edible gardening? So you go to the first table.
Okay, so let's type out the research questions right now. Advanced integration.
This one, why do social actors engage in edible gardening?
Okay, so the first question, first research question should be,
Right. Why do urban dwellers engage?
let's use the word meanings. What meanings do they attach to ulam focused edible gardening? That's consistent with the research question?
No, that's later.
What is later?
No, this is actually, it's a background question, like, oh, why did you get involved in urban gardening? So why do urban dwellers engage in edible gardening?
Okay, so we
Okay.
have that as one of the research questions,
Yeah.
right? Let's see what else we have.
Second one, the next one.
Yeah.
Then what meanings do they attach? No. What
Yeah.
meanings
Do they attach?
research participants
Okay, you got the question? What meanings do they attach?
to ulam consumption?
Ulam consumption, good, alright.
And then the next one?
The next one then? This is okay, this is duality, this is analysis, right?
This is, like,
This is table.
when I understand what they're looking for, then I did this table,
Right.
yeah.
So this is based on the same one, right?
Now, then this is the next stage now. What are the meanings they attach to edible plant gardening? What are the meanings? Do I say research participants or social actors?
What do they mean of, do they attach to
Do
it?
they
You can use all the research participants or
Social actors.
social actors, it's fine, yeah.
Social actors.
Just to be consistent with your thesis, what do you use?
I use
Participants.
both.
Use both, right? Okay, then it's fine.
Attached to edible gardening. Okay.
Alright, okay. Let's see.
And the
how
next
it
one?
is,
Oh, this is, the thing is the social, what are the social meanings? No. Then I say social meanings, social actors.
Okay, so,
So-
but that can be part of that. From the meanings itself, there's a social, there's a new guy, so it can be still the same question.
Or what are the social dimensions of edible gardening?
Okay, let's see first all the questions and see whether we can summarize it and make it. Is there anything else? You don't have to have too many.
No, this one is something like, it was not part of the original research question, but after that I found that there's a very strong social dimension. So I came up with this lah.
That's all right.
So it doesn't have to be part of the original question.
No, it doesn't have to.
Uh,
Okay. Is there anything else?
next. Okay, what? This one also, I came up with it later lah. It was
The
part of the
usual meaning,
original
okay.
question.
Usual meaning, additional meaning. So it's still
What are the
meaning.
intersubjective meanings?
Okay.
Intersubjective meanings.
Also,
Okay.
these are their everyday or their own constructs, right?
And
Fresh, not metered, raw, not cooked, right? It's a kind of
what are the intersubjective meanings and everyday constructs used by the social actors?
Okay, good, yeah, alright.
Okay.
Let's see what else we have.
This distribution. Maybe I can combine some of these things. Like the picture and the distribution. Then are these important to show?
Not in the
No need.
10-minute presentation. Yeah, the 10-minute presentation.
Cut all this out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, it might not be to the point that
Yeah.
the most important part, right? You might miss the most important part. You can still put after thank you all those pictures.
Okay. So,
Typologies. Okay.
what are the
typologies.
social actor typologies?
It's okay. So,
And actually the social actor typology.
wow.
Oh, celebrity comes.
Oh, celebrity.
Tell him.
How are you?
Now these.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
Okay. Alright, we'll move on to the next one. I just want to see how you can summarize your emerging concepts, emerging essences, alright? Okay, good. Alright. Let's go down further, alright, go down further, alright, go down further. Let's see, if this one make you hungry, go down further. Alright, okay, good.
So
Okay,
just that,
let's go back to the
that
research
diagram.
objective. Let's go back to the research objective. Okay. Okay, well, that's good. That is good. Alright. So the first one is okay, the line you want to use, if they say, where's your research questions? Oh, I missed up. I removed the research question and did not put it back. Tell me your line. This is the truth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the truth. Okay, so now we want to put back the research questions. Right? So the first research question is this one. What are the reasons given by the urban dwellers? You do not ask the why question, you ask what are the reasons given by the urban dwellers. Because we do not know why, because why can be,
the real reason.
the real reason, the capitalism, lah, semua ni, the why is big. What are the reasons given by urban dwellers in Penang to engage in ulam-focused edible gardening? So that's a research question number one.
Okay,
Okay, good.
got it.
Right. Number two, what meanings do they attach to?
What meanings do social actors
Yes.
attach to ulam consumption?
Okay, that's a question number two. Which you have a table for that one, right? Okay, good. Question number two. Question number three.
What are the meanings social actors attach to edible gardening?
Alright, question number three. That's good. Yeah, that's it. Those are three. And then you have number four, which is policy question, right? Which is this one.
Oh, but then I have what are the intersubjective meanings and everyday constructs used by
That would be derived from the meanings they attach.
or derived lah.
Derived from the other two, right?
Okay.
Including the social one.
Okay.
It's also derived from that one as well. Right? So you have like one, you have
the original one and
you
then
have three questions, right? Plus the policy question.
and then how about the social actor typologies? That's also derived.
Derived as well.
Okay.
This is part of your second order, third order construct, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you're safe with that. Right.
Okay, so
Okay.
so then the fourth one is the what objectives, policy objectives.
Yeah. What policy recommendations can be derived from this research? Something like that. Simple like that. What policy recommendation can be derived from this research? So you put all those four together in your research objectives and questions, right?
Okay.
If they ask how come it's not in your thesis, or I removed it and forgot to put it back. I removed and revised it and put it back. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Simple answer there.
Yeah.
Right?
Academic correction. Yeah.
Academic corrections. Yeah. So that would save, inshallah. That would save you. Right? Because you're still, you actually found the findings for those questions, right? Right? You can actually find your findings actually reflect those questions,
Yes.
right? It's not some fake questions, it's real questions, right? Only that it's not in here. So if they want to ask you, where is it? You have to say, I removed it, I removed to revise it, and I forgot to put it back. That's it. Right? You can put in. I usually joke like people. I'm like me. I'm very young, so I tend to be forgetful.
No, because I'm very old. No, say I'm very old. So
I don't say I'm very old. I'm very young.
So I have technical problems.
I'm very young, so I tend to miss some things like that. So the was often the diffuse, the attack of it, attack diffusion. Right, so okay, you said that, inshallah. Okay, now, so They might suggest to change because the word to explore. They might say, it's not deep enough. They might say to advocate. We are not doing, activism project, whatever. Let them correct you. These are things.
Okay.
It's okay to correct, right? Okay, let's see what else I want to say. So, for the presentation, you make 3 types of presentation. Or you can still maintain this one, but you got to have the 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Remember that the theoretical contributions / key findings. Put number the 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can put a longer list of them, and they say stop. It's okay. You stop at the part that is, I still have a lot more. Yeah, that's okay. It's fine. Anything else you want to highlight or whatever, you put after thank you. So you're not deleting anything.
Okay.
You're just putting after thank you. So just in case you were to ask you something, right? You say, okay, I put it after thank you, so you can refer to it. You can still put that in, right? These are all just to help you with make it easier for you might want to put in one slide your publications as well, your related publications for this one.
Related? My publications are not related.
Oh, but you have one,
Because
right?
I'm
You have
writing-
two. Oh, you don't have one?
Mostly on history. So this is something totally new for me.
Okay. Hold on. Remember we were talking about the. We didn't publish it, didn't we?
I still haven't published.
Oh God.
I
Okay.
got rejected a few times, so now I'm trying for a Malaysian Journal of Nutrition. I mean, it's so hard to find something
I told you if you need
anthropology.
help, tell me. I will do something with my journal.
I
Okay.
see, but I thought you said must be Scopus and all that.
Yeah, but you cannot. Then you got to have at least one.
I see.
You have one. You have one ready for
Yeah, I
publication.
have one. I mean, earlier that I sent to Journal of ethnic foods. I sent it to you. I always.
I know you. Yeah, if you cannot got, then it doesn't come. It might be questioned a bit, and we will talk about it. But let's
So I sent it to 3 journals, but mostly European ones.
Yeah.
So they rejected 3 times now.
Okay.
Then now I'm trying for this Malaysian one, which is Malaysian Journal of Nutrition. So I've got 2 reviewers.
Okay.
But I need to find another reviewer. So one of them is trying to help me find, but she hasn't found yet lah.
Okay.
And that one is also not 100% ready. I mean, I'm still fine tuning it.
Okay, was it the review? Was it affiliated to any organization?
To foreign universities.
No, not foreign.
Oh,
To any-
no, I've got 2 reviewers. One is Yasmin Lee, one is Wan Manan
All right.
from, I can't remember which university.
Kelantan. Okay.
So they have agreed to review.
All right.
But
Well,
they need 3, one external one.
External, as in overseas external or overseas?
I mean, yeah,
external?
overseas one. So
No.
Yasmin is trying to help me to find out.
From okay.
And then since it's nutrition, so it's more, but this is a Scopus journal.
Yeah.
Nutrition is not my field.
Of course.
So I don't know any nutritionists. In fact, these are the 2 nutritionists I know, and I happen to know them. So one of them had to find me,
Okay. But they need the external, as in from outside Malaysia.
Yes,
Oh,
outside
okay.
Malaysia. But the Journal for Ethnic Foods is quite a complete article already.
Yeah, I think it should be okay.
But it's more about food waste. So in
Yeah.
Malaysia, there's no journal that talk about food waste. Not that kind of journal.
No, that kind of
They're only
journal.
the international ones. Yeah.
So the ethnic food will be more cultural, right?
I think something like maybe there's one journal from Kita, which is appropriate.
UKM.
But it's not Scopus Index,
Okay.
But is it my site?
Huh?
My site.
Index.
My
What's
site
that?
index. Malaysian index.
Is it Malaysian index? Is it my
If-
site?
If it's not Scopus,
Oh,
we can
okay,
submit to my site.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Okay, my side is okay, is it?
My side is okay. My side index. If the journal is index my side, you can use that journal.
I forgot already, what is the name of the journal?
That's the minimum.
UKM,
I think master just need one
Institute
publication. My side.
Journal of Ethnic and Diversity Studies. Is it my site? I
Can check
didn't know
index,
that.
index.
I'm checking now. Oh, how do you spell my site?
MYCITE.
MYCITE,
You can check the index.
Journal of Ethnic and
Yeah.
Diversity Studies.
Okay, I will share. I have the link for IPS.
Maybe you better show to the screen.
Oh no, I'm typing it out now.
The journal name, what's the journal name?
Journal of Ethnic and Diversity Studies. I don't know how to find out where is it.
Citation.
So my site is from IPS. There's file and include all the journals within my site and my journal. So for that, let me find you for. Okay,
My
this is
site
this one.
journal.
So
So general
Journal
search.
of Ethnic and Diversity.
I will send to the group. Okay.
UKM. Maybe at the about page.
You'll find in this link.
Is it listed?
Yeah, I said already.
What's the name of the journal?
Journal of, okay, I put it in the group lah. Journal of,
So open this link and go down. You'll see my site. Read more. Go to read more. You'll find the PDF file.
okay, apart from that, let's see,
What's the journal called?
Journal
wait,
Ethnic.
I put it in the group. Journal of Ethnic and Diversity.
and Diversity.
Of Ethnic and Diversity.
UKM.
Ethnic and
Is
Diversity.
it UKM?
UKM.
And maybe in my site.
I think minimum my side.
Yeah, should GKM it should be safe.
Yeah.
Should be, so okay.
Should be. We don't know.
I'm opening it.
Yeah, I'm opening it.
OJS3.
Still loading. Yeah. Oh. Engineering.
So the first article that I did,
Oh.
is it?
Oh, jurnal by kita. Institute Ethnic Studies.
Betul, ada.
Ethnic studies or ethnic and diversity?
Ethnic and Diversity.
The name of center is kita.
Yeah, but the
Tapi
journal
the name of journal is
Journal of
Ethnic and Diversity.
Journal of Ethnic.
But
And
still,
I sent you the link in the group already.
My journal is okay, right?
my side, my journal is different.
Yeah,
Oh, studies.
you can see the requirements from the IPS. My journal is okay.
About
Is it confirmed?
about duets.
Okay, you can check the
Yeah.
requirements.
It should be okay. This one should be okay.
Should be okay.
The-
I cannot find whether it's
It's about
My
then
journal.
abstracting indexing.
Schoolnya ada.
so most of the food studies journals, they're very technical. So mine cannot get into a technical journal.
My journal.
My journal. Is it okay? My journal?
I think my journal is
Yeah,
okay.
same. My journal on my site. Same.
Is same?
Oh,
Bagus,
same.
kan I've checked too.
So it's on my journal.
I've checked in the requirements, the journal requirements for master. Okay, my journal or my set.
My site is okay, right?
Both okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. This is something I don't know where to find this in.
Actually,
Journal is
if you go
okay.
to Notes of Submission, there is I think five categories you should publish within this 5 categories.
Where do you find the 5?
Notes of Submission, you find these categories.
IPS has it. So it's my site, it's Scopus,
Scopes,
was, yeah.
Web of
and then
Science.
Australian,
maybe Australian, yes.
the Australian one.
And USM, I think there is also publication including USM, I don't know.
Yes, I'm a scopus. Very difficult. All
But
scopus you want to know.
USM is more like political science and something like.
Political is Kajian Malaysia, there's the humanities. Humanities should be okay.
Yeah,
But they are very.
Is it-
but they are already scopus.
They already scopus,
Very difficult.
It's hard
and they're not just,
to be accepted.
there's Q, they
Yeah,
are
Q1,
Q2.
Q2.
Yeah, they are very,
Right.
yeah, difficult to get in, yes, standards are
So,
higher.
but can you give me you said the 5 indexes, which are the 5? Nobody ever told me which are the 5 indexes that I have to look for.
It's in IPS, IPS have the standards, yeah.
See, ISI Scopus, ERA, my journal, my site,
Just share
Been
the
already-
link,
Just share the link.
tadi.
okay, share?
Yeah, please send me that link or whatever.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, let's get back to the things that that's the one. Got it. Thanks, Sundari.
You're welcome, Victor.
Good.
Thanks.
Yeah, my journal, my site, Penerbit USN.
Mhm.
Penerbit USN is another one.
Penerbit USN can.
Yeah.
But USN, I think they have one journal for political science, one for humanities.
Yeah, Penerbit is something separate. USN separate. And the other is MAPIM now, MAPIM. MAPIM is nation.
PIM is one.
But USM requires time, right, bro?
Yeah.
Or under the USM requires time because.
Requires time, yes. Yes, betul. Requires time. So we're talking about ISI, Scopus and ERA. ERA is the Australian, yeah.
ISI, Scopus,
ERA, ERA,
ERA,
yeah.
You go to my site, I'm a journal, better.
Yeah,
If you need fast, maybe.
my site, and no, you said there's 5?
Yeah, you signed
You sent me the link already.
Yeah, the PDF. Go down, the next page.
Notice of thesis submission.
Yeah, go to the second
I didn't see it at all.
page.
It's, okay.
Oh, what the
Temporary, but they are fighting each other.
Oh, my journal. Okay, Penerbit ISM, my site, my journal, my PIM, Thomas Reuters, okay. Master.
Okay, let's get back to this one.
I totally missed that, thanks.
All right, they will cover that part. Inshallah. Let's get I never shared
Yeah, that's well.
the 12, right? So let's go through the 12. I've repeated this many times, but it's, but it's important to go through before the Viva itself, because now we're talking about the Viva. Just now is
When your
the
Viva?
presentation, yeah?
When her Bible?
13,
30 this month?
Thursday,
Thursday. Maybe
it's okay, I work very fast.
Thursday, all right. Let's go through the, and you can share.
Yeah.
So okay.
Good. So remember to put the research questions together with research objective, drop the aims. Right?
Research objectives,
And research
stroke question, and questions, no.
So
Research
the title,
objectives
and questions.
and questions,
Yeah.
okay.
Research questions and objectives. Usually question first, then objective.
Questions and objectives.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can put a question. Well, the arrangement is not important, but put in one slide because it's easier. Okay, here we have the one that I will repeat this because I think this is important to get the whole Viva strategy right. So these are Viva preparation, the 12 principles which I use course many times for Viva preparation. Utadi went through this also, right? So 1 and 2, probably the most important, if not one of the most important, is the principal sensing, which means sometimes we ask, argue my case or should I not argue my case? The answer to that, well, you got to sense, right? So you got to sense whether the examiner is questioning you or trying to get you to share your thoughts, that kind of. So you got to sense the energy that's coming. It's very, very Wing Chun kind of thing. Sense the energy that's coming in. So sometimes when they ask a question, they're just asking a question. They're not arguing, right? So you can always repeat this. Is this what you're asking? So you answer.
Is this what you're asking?
Is this what you're asking? You can repeat that. So. The general tone is humble, of course, because we're playing a defensive game. Right? And they have absolute power. So we want to basically have absolute power. That's why this whole PhD thing is, is designed where the examiners have absolute power. You want to change the examiner's decision, you got to go up to the vice chancellor's level or something. They have to have the senate review and all that. Or the rector of UI can change it too, right? This is an Indonesian joke. The rector of UI just give honorary doctorate. Is it honorary? Is it doctorate or?
Doctorate.
Doctorate. No honorary.
No.
Or doctorate to the president of Waqaf.
Punishmentnya.
But that's punishment, not to do revision,
But
need to revise and apologize.
Thank you very much. Okay. Anyways, so it's not easy because of the power they have. It's absolute. There were cases where the examiner refused to change, even though with all the pressure. So the case actually went up. It becomes a legal case. Because you cannot change the result of the examiner. It becomes a legal case. So it's not easy unless it is turned into a discrimination case and all that. So it's not.
So that means if it's rejected, is there a second chance?
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that. No, inshallah, we won't get to that one. Our mind is not to get to that one. Okay. But we will talk about that. We'll get that. So basically, our general tone should be the humble, very humble. Thank you very much, and all that. Okay. So the first principle is sensing. So sensing whether, and sometimes they want to test whether the person knows his stuff or her stuff, right? So I usually give this example. Like 2 students, very early in my supervision years. The first one, she argued basically all the questions that posed by the examiner, right? It's from China, by the way, my first students from China. She argued everything, right? And then the second candidate I have from Malaysia, he just okay, it was my mistake. It was I'm humble about it. It's my weakness. I'm correct. And both passed. Right? We have very different response to the corrections the examiners want us. But if they were to switch, they will both fail. Why? The first panel of examiners was examining students from China. When she defended and argued and all that, they said, well, she knows her stuff. She knows her stuff. Whereas the Malaysian one, right? He's now the lecturer in UM. Malaysian one, he said, well, he's very humble. He was a very open-minded guy. So the panel, the response fits the energy that's coming in. So it's important to match the energy, the response to that. So sensing is important. So I cannot say do this or do that. So sensing, this is where your emotional quotient, your EQ must be very high. Right? So that's point number one, counter-argue or not to counter-argue, change or not to change. Now, the general thing about change or not to change is this. If they say, I think you need to, you haven't read this person yet, they haven't read this guru yet, they haven't read this theory, and I haven't read it. You must read this person. You say, yes, I'll do that, right? And if the changes they ask you to do is just 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, you comply, right? So you comply. There's no problem. That's good, by the way, right? Especially if they ask you to, this is not necessary, you can cut all this. That's excellent, right? They have they've caught our bait, right?
Okay.
If they target to remove things, that's actually a good thing. Because removing things is the simplest thing to do in correction.
Yes,
Right? It's the simplest thing to do. Remember, we are doing defensive strategy. We are oral defense, right? The part that you want to stand your ground is when they ask you to collect new data. This falls under resubmission. So number one is where there's no correction completely, zero correction, very little correction. Scale number 2 is minor correction. Scale number 3 is major correction. Scale number 4 is resubmission.
Reviver.
Reviver, resubmission. And this usually means collecting new data or rewrite a chapter or something like that. So this is where you want to stand your ground, make a strong argument, strong case, because you have a strong thesis here. Your thesis is strong, it's in line with your research questions objective, right? It's in line. You have the data. You have developed theory. You have contributed theoretically, conceptually to the literature. So this is definitely a strong thesis, right? So you must stand your ground in that case, right? So that's the issue. I argue or not to argue, change or not to change. Right? That's principle number 1. So principle number 2 is connected to principle number 1. Principle of mighty coconut tree, correct or not to correct. Let the wind blow. If it's not, if it's of no or little impact, right? Like the coconut tree. Let them say whatever they say. Sometimes they say bombard, keep on bombarding like the Israeli bomb coming to you, right? But your coconut tree, they can bomb here and there, you're still standing, they're coming back, right? It's okay, right? Let them do that. You just take it basically, and yeah. Remember, go back to principle number 1. If the change is minor, you just take it. You just basically it's a 1-page change or 2-page change. Just accept it. That's a good thing. Number 3, principle of clarity. This is where it helps in doing the defense, right? And that's using listing, right? So when they ask, okay, tell me about your methodology, right? Okay, there are 3 important things about my methodology. You say 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Or tell me about your your theoretical contribution. I have many theoretical contributions. Let me highlight you 3. Right? I say 3. It can be more than 3. It can be 4 or 5. But you don't want to have a long list like 10. You cannot remember. Right? So these 3. Why do you want to do that? Because you want to have clarity, yeah, and you want to have. You want to convey that you know your stuff, and you want to be persuasive in conveying your response, the essence of your response. So you need to know. Tell me about your problem statement. You can say there are 3 parts to my problem. There are 3 things important about my problem statement. 1, 2, 3, and sometimes some examiner who hasn't read your thesis yet, I say, okay, summarize your thesis right now. tell me about your thesis in 3 sentences. There's something there, some people are doing that, right? Okay, so you need to be able to say, okay, my thesis is, the heart of the thesis is your research questions, right? So go to your research questions. My thesis is about answering these research questions, 1, 2, 3, and I have discovered 1, 2, 3, right? Or I have more than that, but I highlight 2 or 3, right? It can be 4 or 5, but I'm just giving you an example. So the power of this thing is like, is clarity for you and it's very convincing, right? The essence of argument. So if it's coming from you or coming from the examiner, you need to be able to say, well, so the essence of what I want to say is this, or the essence of what you're saying is this, and you want to be able to have clarity both ways, what is being asked and what's being answered, right? So for instance, if your answer, you've been rambling your answer, right, in your response, then you recap your response. The essence of what I want to say is this, right? Sometimes you're not prepared, you don't have those lists in your mind yet, right? But at the end of what you, at the end of your response, okay, you said, this is what my essence of what I want to say. So you can briefly and clearly and convincingly explain your thesis, your problem statement, your methodology, your key findings, your contribution. That is actually those are the main 3 things you need to have to be able to say, right? Well, my problem statement is this, and methodology is this, right?
Sorry, I need a toilet break.
Go ahead, yeah.
And
It's a bit cold, right?
Oh yeah, have you sent me the 10?
This one.
This one, huh?
Yeah, I have sent it.
I think it's in the group, huh?
It's in the group.
I think I saw it like a long time ago. Maybe in the first year or something, I saw it.
First year.
Well,
Okay. I've sent it many times, I've just sent it again just now. So this guy Bahalil, so he needs the correction. Oh, this is the most valuable. This is like, thank you so much. This is 4 years summarized into 2 kilograms. 4 years, 5 years, 2 4 years.
How many pages?
More than 400?
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
no.
When you have a thesis that can use to kill people,
When the
Then
full idea converted to the material.
material is 4 years.
It's our refuge.
Yeah, this is like,
Take it
I
out.
tell you, thesis, especially PhD thesis, like, this is my life story, as well. But the good thing about PhD or masters, whatever, that no one can take that away from you, Title, no one can take away from you. It's not like.
There is another two copies, one for Cntr, one for
Yeah.
me. There in the room, I need your sign and stamp,
Signature. Okay.
and also the Cntr stamp.
oh, wow.
Alright. Yeah. I'm happy that finally they accepted the article on paternalism, right?
Yeah. Maybe. But by the way, my article accepted in Scopus about paternalism on closed access, not open access.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm waiting the publication. Maybe in summer it was published. Yeah, according to their. This journal is very rare. They just publish twice in per year, just twice.
Twice a year or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy to know that there's finally they accept the argument that
The argument
paternalism.
after many rejected. After many rejected.
After many rejected, including the expert from Middle East expert.
Yes.
So they are so caught into paternalism, they cannot see paternalism anymore.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, let's come back to this one. So this is where are we? Number 2, right? Number 2 or number 3?
Number 3.
Number 3. Yeah. So clarity.
Okay.
Clarity. I don't think you have problem with this one. Your problem is the other side because you have so many to say. So it's not that you do not know how to respond. It's that you know how to respond in so many different ways.
Okay.
So the clarity definitely helps. principle of contribution to knowledge, which is about the theoretical knowledge. So the whole idea of a research is to contribute to knowledge. So you want to be able to say, look, I have contributed to knowledge. What type of knowledge? So you were talking about different aspects just now, right? You were talking about the urban farming. You talk about the community resilience, right? So you can talk about different aspects to it, but you know what your main contributions are, right? But you also say, look, I also contributed to different aspects of knowledge, different dimensions of knowledge. So that is a very you want to show the novelty of your work, your research, which you have a lot in here, right? So you can say discovered there are 6 typologies of urban farmers. Yes?
Edible gardeners.
Edible gardeners, yeah. Okay, so those are contributions to knowledge. Principle of reaffirming. Okay, this is where when they ask you too many questions or they bombard you with too many arguments, right? So they say this and that, you have this problem, and how about this one, and how about that, and they never stop. And sometimes we find that type of examiner. I cannot stand that kind of examiner sometimes, right? But there are those, right? So if that were to happen, it's like centering yourself, find the inner peace. The inner peace is in your research questions or research objectives, right? So I said this research is about answering a set of questions. The questions are about this, this, and this, and I have discovered in the findings that this and this and this. So as long as the center is the heart of your research questions, yeah. So you stick back to your research questions. Otherwise, there are cases where they become a bombard, like machine gun, right? So that's where you got to do a bit of Tai Chi, do a bit of inner peace, back to yourself, that kind of thing. Or in Chinese, they have this Jing Zhong Zhao Qi.
Oh, yeah.
The golden bell. That's whatever you say and do, it doesn't penetrate into my mind and kind of thing. So, and that happens, man. That happens. And I think who was it? Yeah, was it Chang, the one who had long exam,
Discussion.
Huh?
During Viva.
Viva. Who had a long Viva?
I don't know.
I forgot who had a long Viva. My student or some other student, I forgot. Anyways,
So the one who did the art history, is it about museums or is it?
Chang had a long Viva too, but at that time I was sick. Right, there was a moment I went to the hospital, right?
Oh.
Right, am I right?
Yeah.
Right?
Probably didn't attend.
I didn't attend. I was, or was it halfway I went to the hospital, something like that.
No, what was it? You went to the hospital?
I operation.
The eye, so it's okay, everything okay already?
No, I'm going to the second operation. So I'm using my left eye now, my right eye. There's no lens in my right eye now. I took it out. So it's recovered strong enough. Then to put in through some different type of surgery, not the normal surgery, put in the middle of my eye. So preparing for that one, a bit afraid, a bit waiting for asking for general anesthesia. So anyway, so this is the point about 5 is to know our center, to reaffirm our center, which is your research questions, right?
Okay.
So you're clear about this research is about to know why the reasons and the meanings they attach, and what policy recommendation can you give? It's like those things. From the meanings, I extracted out the agency, the connection, the plan to full connection, and also find the social meanings and then the typologies, so you can go back to your center and always go back to the center if it's confusing, right?
Okay.
So that's number 5. Number 6 is principle of aligning and redirecting. So there are certain words that we do not want to use during the Bible, which is but.
Okay.
Beauty. That's a very good question. But that's like negating what they say, right? But instead of saying but, you just say and. There's an important question and. It doesn't change anything, right? But you just align and redirect. So again, it's a Tai Chi. Align using the energy of the enemy to deflect the heat of the enemy. It also means this that I'm confused. Sometimes the exam is, I'm confused about what you wrote here. You wrote here about this, and then you wrote about this, quite frankly, you respond, right? I'm confused too. I'm confused. And I'm so confused. Not only you confused, I'm confused for 3 days. So you do not contradict the person, right? You align with the person, and then you offer your answer, right? And I consulted my supervisor, and I read this book or whatever. I found the answer in this one, or I look at the data, or I reconfirm with the participants, So it always the other one is we don't want to say interesting question. Interesting question is very dismissive, right? And that's an interesting question. Instead of this interesting question, replace it with that's an important question. Like, I'm asking important question, right? Interesting question because it's too common and it's the type of thing that speakers use during seminars or workshops. There's an interesting question. So there's an important question to recognize the question. Again, it's always about aligning with the person.
The examiner also need to be reaffirmed.
They also need a lot, because they have power. They're like Donald Trump. They can be Donald Trump, right? Right, Donald Trump. You just got to appease them and all that. But many times they are good examiners. They come with good spirited and all that. They'll congratulate you. But sometimes you meet some of these characters. You wish you don't have that percentage. It's a very toxic kind of. There are people. I have one case with my Alicia's examiner, right? He was bombarding her, bombard. But then the correction is just very little. So during the Viva, you just purposely asking all these critical, hard questions, suggesting this and that. So there are people like that. Okay, so that's aligning and redirecting. So we are not fighting with the examiner. We use the energy of the examiner to answer the examiners again, right? So use jokes can help in this time. If you're okay with that. If you're not okay, then you avoid using certain words like "but" and all that. I know some of you are used to this kind of thing, but I'm reaffirming what go through back with this one, with the 12 principles. Okay, there's the 7th principle is principle of material preparation. So make a list of what you must bring and check before you leave. Basically, this is a simple one, right? Make a list. A day before, 2 days before, so that you do not miss out your thesis, your laptop. I'm not sure I'm going to talk about this later, but I will highlight this one. If the examiners are present, right, you want to print out your presentation, right? Why? Because if they do not allow you to make PowerPoint presentation, you can still dish out the still talk about it. You know, you can talk about it.
Good
Right?
idea.
So they will say, well, you know your stuff, just tell me, I give you 5 minutes to give an oral presentation. You can still dish it out, you know. You can do that if they're present, right? That can be part of that material preparation. But if the case is when the scenario is when the examiner is outside, I don't know the examiner, the external examiner will come or not. If he or she is not here, then it's okay then you have to stay prepared. Right? So making the list is important so that you don't forget anything. There's not too many things to remember, but your thesis is important to remember.
The laptop,
the laptop.
the printed out presentation.
Yeah. That's those things.
Those 3 things in it.
That's the thing, and then maybe a piece of paper, pen, and all that. I know these are like very trivial, but it helps. During emergency, you usually have checklist, right? So checklist it helps during in the state of in the heat of the moment. You might forget this and that. So something that my father taught me, have checklist. And then he's a military guy, so he's like,
Oh my goodness.
so he taught me about the checklist, present checklist. So that's number 7. Number 8, principal presentation. PowerPoint presentation, keep it short and put in the extras at the back with some answers to it, to expected and unexpected questions. So, like the one I told you, you don't have to delete everything, you just put after thank you, right? Handouts, when this is the part that I just told you, the printouts, right? And be prepared for verbal presentation. So without the PowerPoint, right? But you can still look at your whatever material you have, you can still present. So if they ask for verbal presentation, you can still refer to your stuff, and you just use that format to talk about the problem statement, the research objective questions, and the methodology, and your key findings and key theoretical contributions, right? Right. So that's the presentation. And then there is the number 9, principal master projection. I don't think you have problem with this one. Knowing when, okay, this one has to do with your visual, the optics. So you want to have your thesis, right? In your thesis, should tag the important.
I started to do that.
Yeah, you can do that. That looks good. Yeah. So, where's the findings? You can immediately go to your findings chapter. Yeah. It might not want to over tag. I've seen people who tag like a piece of text. I mean, you get confused to which one is the thing. Then tag for the tag. Yeah. This one I had a situation, a student last time. You know Dina, right? Yeah. Dina was, God, that was like Rajih, you were there, right, Rajih?
Oh, when?
Dina's presentation, Dina's member.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're the one. Oh, God, that was like the most disastrous presentation. She forgot what her research objectives are. She cannot find her research objective. She bought a new laptop. The laptop did not function. Oh God! And so the examiner asked what her research objectives. She cannot find it, and she forgot what research objectives are. Methodology. She cannot answer the research
questions. Research questions.
Research questions. Research methodology. She just went blank. Almost.
Maybe nervous.
Huh? Nervous.
Yeah, nervous.
Nervous. It was like flipping things here and there. Cannot find. So at that time was the beginning of COVID, right?
Yeah.
I was sitting here, she was sitting there, right? So I can still guide her. I was sitting like so because they cannot see me, right?
Eventually the examiner can see.
Because I walked through the camera. Oh, at that time was Viva, was the examiner. Oh, the Viva was maybe your supervisor can help us. God. I made a mistake of walking in front of the camera. That was my mistake. And then because I was still showing to her this question. I was panicking together with her. I was panicking because she cannot answer all the questions. Was ready, so she did not tag it. She used a new laptop, and then she had problem with the cable. Right? Remember? I think she finally she contributed her Waqaf cable, right? The blue color cable. She's the one. But you know, this is God's work. Her thesis is recommended to have the best thesis, and she got 1, right? Or 2? Was it 1? She got 1 for her Viva. So I said, this is a miracle, because the internal argued that she wrote a very good thesis. So her thesis was defending her basically. She wasn't defending her at all. She was really bad. So in the presentation, but you know, it was her thesis. It was nominated as the best thesis. So it's a good one. So the point there is about knowing where the pages are, the key literature, the key figures, physically bookmark the key pages, right?
Okay.
Another student of mine who's now a professor already, right? In UKM, right? He is an excellent a candidate for Viva defense. So the examiner will ask, what's your, what do you argue about this? Or it's in page 38, paragraph number 2. He's like a lawyer, you know. He can actually quote the page number, you know. And then the examiners will go, oh, look at that. It's the examiner's panic, not him. Page 138, and he would stand like a diplomat or politician standing there. Well, he's a professor now, you can, yeah.
Who is that?
Nobel.
Nobel.
It's a Nobel Linden. Bidayah.
Oh, Bidayah.
Yeah. He's the type that runs faster than the supervisor. So he's like, okay. Yeah, he did adaptive as well, adaptive research. So he's very good at it. So the Viva itself can change the whole result of the thesis. Yeah. Number 10, principle of self-projection. This is not a big issue, but if it helps to dress in a certain way to give you more confidence, just go ahead, right? Usually we tend to dress down more than dress up in ESM. But I have one student, Indonesian, he was wearing suit and tie and all that from communications, you know, so, and he is a good communicator, so after the Viva, his scale went up, so his grade went up. So he communicated better than this thesis communicator. So he did a much better job than the thesis. He was from London School of Public Relations, in Jakarta. So he's.
What is this fragrance?
Fragrance. This one is an example I have. I have one student, I won't name.
No durian, no eat durian this day.
Not him or her, right?
Don't eat durian in this day.
Oh, yeah, don't eat durian, definitely. Well, the person will walk from International House here. So who the person is, will be sweating, you know, and I can smell the sweat and everything, you know. So eventually I said, okay, take I have a cologne, right? Cologne in my office. This uses cologne, so you do not want to, you know, the body odor. You just got to overcome that problem. Usually it's not a problem. So but it can be disturbing, a bit distracting. Yeah, so that did happen last time. So you know, want to be quiet. But again, we do not want to put too much perfume and all that, and people will have a headache. That's another possibility. Right? Yeah. Okay, that's number 10. Number 10. Number 11. Principle of threat avoiding. This is the danger one. This is the tricky one. What is that? What is it that you want to redo? Right? If you're given a chance to redo your work, how would you redo it? Right? Do not answer that question. Do not answer that question. It's a trap question. Because you answer that question, then you ask, okay, now you redo what you just suggested, you know, or you answer in a way that saves you. So, the student from China, my first student from China, when they asked you if you were given a chance to redo your thesis, what would you redo? And the way she answered, oh no, I don't want to do my thesis. I also not want to do my thesis.
I don't want to redo
I do not want to do my thesis anymore. So the examiners are laughing because of that, right? I mean, you can say things like, if I were to do this again, I will replicate and compare it with Europe or something like that. Something that's quite impossible to do, right? Yeah. Something or you know, I will do a longitudinal study forward, something like that. Something like that. So it's something that is impossible, not practical to do. Basically, to answer that question, rather than something that, you know, I missed out something. I should have asked more people, and then don't say, don't add more to your corrections, right? Now, there's one point I want to note, right? Because you're doing purposes sampling, and you did answer that in your research, right? How many is enough? And you use the saturation point, the argument. There is a discussion about how many is enough, right? So you have 20 something, 24, right? 24 research. For masters, that should be sufficient.
For PhD 40, I remember that.
I put in 40. But I do have, I shared with you all some time ago an article, actually a proper book actually, on how many, the title is how many is enough, I think. How many is enough. So maybe we can reshare that one. So if anyone were to ask, we can use that as a reference. Right? And I've heard, not many people question, but I've heard one examiner questioning whether there can be too many. That article, that writer is a book by social research authority or something from UK. So it's very authoritative. So how many it justifies the number, right? So we will relook at that one. So in case you need to use it, we can use it. But I don't think you have problem with that, because number one, you're doing master. Secondly, you make your argument in your saturation point as your, and then you have your data as, you know, a very rich source of data. So I won't have that. But do remind me so that I can search and share the article with you again. Number 12, principal anticipation of points of challenge. So now there is, I noted this in your presentation last time, right? You want to think about some weak points where they can attack. And this one has to do with, remember what Azrina was pointing last time, right? She was saying about you created the community and you're researching the community, right? So we need to have prepare a defense for that one, how you defend. But because now you don't put that in now, right? You don't tell that part of the story, right?
It is here,
it is
but
there.
it's not in my presentation.
It's not.
I said I helped to create. I
Okay,
didn't say that I'm the one who created. I said I helped to create.
okay, yeah. So the issue there can be social desirability effect. Methodology is under social desirability effect, which means a person might answer, the participant or the respondent might answer in a way that they think the interview is desirable to the interviewer. So how do you handle that part, right? If that occurs, how do you handle that part? That is quite a critical question, by the way. It's not easy to answer, especially if you're in it, like you or Jim, who's going to interview his own company, right? And he's the director of the company. How do you do that, right? In this case, it's still okay because you're a community of urban independent-minded farmers and all that. So, but you do want to find some ways to defend your case. You might want to ask ChatGPT, how do you defend the case? If I create an organization, and how do I just ask ChatGPT, if I created an organization, and how do I address the issue of social desirability effect in my research, in my interviews, which I conducted. I think there are solutions to that one. I said that. It's an ethical one, but be prepared to answer that question, just in case someone were to ask that question. Right? So this is and this, you are ready about you have submitted, you've written your thesis, submitted. You're reading about where else the weak points, right? So that I can think of that. The other one can be, remember the point from Muzakir, right? This is why it's good to have our group supervision, group discussion. Muzakir was pointing to one fact, that this group of people represented more of the middle class, English speaking, right? Urban farmers. So is there a problem with that, or would the
Actually, that is explained.
Is that explained?
Yeah.
Okay.
That they are, mainly urban middle class.
Yes.
And that is the sample lah.
It's
That is the
sample,
sample that I
yeah.
chose, yeah.
Now the part that they might ask you to qualify is in your findings. So you need to highlight in the limitations of your study or something like that. Yeah. Okay, so if they will continue to question that, I say what I can do is I will highlight in my limitations of my study or my future studies, right, to include a wider range of respondents or participants from perhaps the more less urban or rural area or
So then they will ask you to do it.
no, in the future. Or the other part is actually to change the title.
Because at one time,
We
remember?
tried, yeah.
I
And we
said,
changed the title.
Urban middle class, then you say, oh, you have to define what is
Middle class, yeah,
Then
that
you
was
you
right.
have to get the income bracket and all that.
Yeah.
So I took it out.
To get out of that one, that's right. We do not want to get into that one. So if they come with then we can talk about the title itself.
Yeah, and actually I have that chapter 7,
Yeah.
where I give the scenario how they are going. Some are landed property, some are apartments.
Yes.
So they're not all in the same situation.
Not all. So when we say landed property, it gives the impression that the well-to-do people.
Yeah, some are well-to-do lah, but some have got a garden, some they just planting in containers, so
Containers,
that's,
yeah.
that I can show that back
You can show that one,
Yeah,
yeah,
that,
yeah.
I didn't define them by class,
Okay, yes,
but I categorize them by how they are growing.
yes, yes.
Okay.
We can talk about that. After all, oh yeah, the way we handle it, we use the word urban instead of
Gardeners.
instead of class. We don't use. We managed to solve the
That's
problem by using the word urban. So instead of middle class, alright. So urban dwellers, and you can also highlight there. Well, they're not all middle class because some people are they are from. Well, that's the middle class, but
Yeah, they're still like lower,
yeah.
lower to upper middle class.
lower to upper middle class now. Okay, yeah, still middle class then. So, but that's not the important aspect of the research, right? So you're not purposely looking at that one. So this is the last part lah. So this is sometimes we do not anticipate certain issues. That's why it's good to present like Mutali did. You presented to your friends, right? Right. So let them
Twice
question.
or 3 times.
Yeah.
Twice or
Two or 3
Yeah.
times. See, let what people who haven't heard your presentation before, let them come up with some silly questions, whatever. But sometimes from that you can be even more prepared for the unexpected things that I myself might not anticipate, right? So that helps. Yeah, people like Joanne might be good, right? So I do think that your research is strong, definitely rich with data, and inshallah I'm confident, right, to see this one will get through. So inshallah, like as I told you all before, I will not let you all go through the Viva without knowing that this is a strong thesis. Actually, that would be my contention. Although there's 1 or 2 cases a long time ago, I allowed it because of the situation they were in last time. Because they needed to go home and they have the candidature is over and all that. So that's a different case. So.
So I have a question. Okay, the 3 questions. What are the reasons given by urban dwellers for engaging in edible gardening? What meanings do social actors attach to ulam consumption? What are the meanings social actors attach to edible gardening? And then there are some of the derived, what do you call them? The derived questions.
You don't have to say it's a derived question because it's your second order and third order constructs, right? The typologies, or is this further probing question? Probing.
No, it's not probing question.
No.
It's, for example, I said what are the meanings social actors attached to edible gardening?
Okay,
So
that's
they gave me, then from the data that I gathered,
yes.
and then I realized that it's also rich data to talk about the social aspects of the social dimensions of edible gardening. So then I added a question. So it's a derived question.
Oh, okay. Meaning from the answers you pursue further. You come up with more questions. You're saying that, right? You're saying that, okay. That's fine. So what it means is that it's still within the scope of meanings they attach.
Okay.
So it's still within the scope of meanings they attach. Unless you ask something that is completely different. But this is still under the scope of meanings, right? So it is fine. So it doesn't, because it's abductive, you do not know what answers they'll be giving. But you can use the abductive approach to pursue further, deeper or broader from what they're given. That is very in line with abductive research, right? And yes, that's actually a good point that you're highlighting. Reason being, you're connecting back to the abductive research. So this, you use the abductive research, you say, look, this is an abductive research approach where you go deeper and deeper into the meanings they share with you. Right?
Okay, and then now the 4th question, which is related to policy.
Yes.
So I need your help to formulate that question.
Okay.
4th question is, Maybe what is the relevance of my research to policy?
Policy, how do you phrase your findings? Use the word recommendations, right?
I thought I was supposed to do recommendations.
Right, use the word recommendations, right? So what policy recommendations can be derived from this research? What policy recommendations can be derived from this research? Right? So this is in a way, is consistent with your objective number 4 too. Right, objective number 4 is to advocate something, right? Yeah, so it's consistent with that one.
So that is the 4th research question.
4th research question. And it is consistent with your findings. So that's the essence of research, by the way. The research questions worth PhD or master's worthy research questions, and it's done in a methodologically correct manner, and the findings are analyzed and have been demonstrated to be theoretically significant. So that's a piece of master's research, right? And PhD research too. So,
And then I said that the findings that I have from my research can have yielded insights that can be useful for implementing those recommendations.
yes. Yes.
And okay, one more thing is, so they said, since you have not published your article, what should I say?
Okay. Let me see whether I can help to get it published in my journal in a very short while. Let me see.
That
You
means,
do have that, right? I will. Yeah, can you
no,
forward
but
it to
just
me?
say accepted lah. You can say accepted, and then I will say it will be published.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
I
another
send
one.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Rajih. Rajih just shared with the
file.
what is it? The file. It's a very big file there.
What is that?
Well, not very big, 355. It used to be big in my days of small capacity computer. Rajesh shared it, so it's in the WhatsApp now.
So it has to be,
That's the
CRM.
Rajah has shared. This is the one I told you about.
How many
qualitative
interviews?
interviews is enough?
Oh,
If somebody was
okay,
to ask,
okay.
yeah?
The answer are various, right, bro?
Answer is various. So it's a National Center for Research Methods. Yeah, it's a UK or European. I forgot this one. UK, right?
One of the articles said when is in Amra.
Yep. Because one of the things.
Really?
But it's ethnographic
Ethnographic.
research.
Or it could be like social work. Social work, they have a case, right? Some mental case or some whatever case whatever case. And the social work people tend to make the argument that you cannot generalize more than one person. So that each person, each case is unique. I agree. Depending on how you want to,
So,
send me the article again.
Okay.
So I can get. Any suggestion, advice, tips? Maybe Mutadi, you've gone through the process before.
this one, the thing is the formatting. I think it's just a different kind of formatting. I mean, the
Was it?
footnote, is the footnote is digitally connected. Of course, I can give you, the reference list.
Yeah.
Then they say reference 1, and then you just put the number 1, and then it refers to that kind of.
Yeah, so
But I can easily give you the footnote lah.
Do you use what, Ignat or Mendeley?
the referencing style for this article.
They use number, right?
They use
They
number.
don't cite, they
So you
use
have to
number.
link to the number.
Yeah. So reference you put number,
number in each page?
not number of page. We use the number as citation,
Yeah, I citation, I mean numbers each page?
not the page.
I know, but I mean, each page they have references in the footnotes. Each page can do this?
No, it's not a footnote. It's a cite. So in the paragraph, when we cite, we put number. For example, number 1.
Yeah.
At the reference list, we put number 1. What article?
It's typical citation in Scopus.
What's that, the,
Scopus
What's
article.
that?
what's that article?
Normally in paragraph we write.
Yes, but-
Let's say Muqtadi 2024.
I'm just trying to
right?
find
Yeah,
the
this one
latest
is number one.
version.
This is ABA, but you can choose
I can choose.
one of, if you use Mendeley, you can choose. You have multiple choices.
What do you mean the multiple? No, this is the footnoting system.
Harvard style.
Okay, you see
No, this.
I don't know where it's black.
This one is,
You see Okay, so 5. Then 5, then it's all submitted online. So the 5 is hyperlinked to something, so that this number 5 is hyperlinked. That is so I spent so much time just reformatting according to, what the journal wants.
Yeah, but you need to do one by one by your hand, not handmade.
Yeah.
You should use application, Mendeley or Ignore. This is all resort
Then
your
you link to
processes
number 5.
automatically. Yeah.
But instead of that APSA, the word
apa,
instead of APA, it's like the name of the author and then the
CPA,
year. So it's like you just put
Harvard style, what?
no, it's you put a number, then it's digitally connected.
Oh, the Mendeley
Is
thing.
it
Also
Mendeley?
have.
Is that Mendeley?
Mendeley also has it.
Yeah?
Mendeley also has it, yeah.
Yeah, because you have maybe 15, 25 style
Yeah,
of preferences. You just change everything, change already automatically.
automatically, right, yeah,
Okay, I'll send it to you.
yeah. Very recent,
I've emailed you before.
yeah, okay.
Because the first article, so I wanted you to, read through it and prove. Then after that, I just do it by myself.
Okay.
So I resubmitted, but it's more or less the same article. But the one that I'm trying to get in the Journal for Nutrition is very different because I've got to tailor it to the emphasis on nutrition.
Okay, let me I won't send until I get confirmation whether we can get the article out by that time, before Viva.
Before,
Yeah,
that is immediate. That is like tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow, right, today's Monday, so.
So it qualifies anyway, right?
It qualifies?
Yeah.
It qualifies, sure.
It's a very good article, I think.
Yeah,
I think so myself.
Using my editor-in-chief channel.
Oh.
Okay, this is the preparation there. If you anything, you just go down a bit more. What else we have there? So this is the prepare to give there. Before that, prepare to give presentation 1 without PowerPoint, with PowerPoint for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Bring your slides, prepare slides, the 10 to 15 presentation, and put the extras after thank you, extra more detailed slides. Okay. Extended Viva guidelines, what's your PhD about? They might ask that question, right? Remember? Yeah, what's your problem statement? What are your key findings? I could have known that without doing PhD, so what's the point of your PhD? That's a nasty question, but I've heard that question before, right? I could have known that without doing a PhD, so what's the point of your PhD? So this is usually a type of PhD that quantitative analysis, where it's like 3 variables, 4 variables. So definitely, you study more, you get better grades, right? You don't need to do a research on that 100%. But for qualitative, the answer tends to be much more sophisticated, much more deeper. So that question will usually not come out, right? Question number 3. What's your contribution to knowledge? We highlight that.
So you need also, okay, what's your analysis? Content analysis or thematic analysis? That's very important.
Yeah, content. What analysis do you use? I highlight that one. So methodology, how can you justify the methodology adopted, right? And how do you use it to meet your research objectives? So it's kind of a philosophical question. Number 5, right? Salma, this one. So
again, can I read the number 5?
number 5.
Just pull it up a bit.
Yeah.
How can you justify the methodology you adopted?
It's how do you use it?
I think they won't ask for masters.
They might not, but you can say that I'm using abductive research because I like to know the meanings they attach. So, and I'm leaving a white space for them to answer whatever they want to answer, and I found out there are 7 different meanings. The plant to food connection, all that, right? Food connection there. So abductive research can get to that one. So I do not want to box the meaning. I do not want to, that kind of thing. The abductive research has that strength. Is the data sufficient? Number 6. Is there any data missing? How do you answer the question of hidden narrative? This one had this once or twice being raised, I think, the hidden narrative, because this can be relevant to you because you're doing phenomenology. So in phenomenology, we ask questions in a direct way. So remember, ethnographers, they interpret what they see, what they hear. But phenomenologists do not interpret. Phenomenologists use the meanings, and they can verify the meanings, but they do not interpret the meaning. Right? So, for instance, ethnographer would say, well, the person like to choose a red color for the plants are mostly red, so they interpret what red is because the ethnographers understand the world of the community.
Very auspicious.
Auspicious, whatever. But a phenomenological research doesn't do that. Phenomenological research, but what does red signify to you? You can ask that question, right? But ethnographers will say, well, sometimes we do not want to ask that question because the question can be sensitive or they don't want to share. Right? So there are cultural communications that one should understand if you immerse yourself long enough. So like example I usually give is this: in the Asian culture, they say, please come to my humble house. I didn't prepare much food, but the table's full of food, right? So what they want to say and what is meant is two different things, So a researcher should understand that the hidden narrative. But phenomenological research doesn't look for interpret hidden narrative. There's a narrative. You say, okay, this is what you mean. Tell me more about this. And then you discover something. You go further. Like you found the social meanings, right? So this can be relevant to your thesis because this issue arises where the examiner or examiners might know half of this research methods or methodology. They think they know, but they do not know completely. So you will need to explain. Right? So number 7, how do you analyze your data? Is the analysis logical? How do you extract or arrive at your conclusions from the data? You need to explain. You have first order construct, the second order construct, the third order construct, right? So you are doing, from the phrases from everyday language, you derive, more technical, scientific language, etc. Kind of things. And basically explaining how your you conduct the analysis, yeah? Can you discuss your findings and analysis? What are your key findings? Okay, yeah, that you have that problem there. How would you do your PhD differently? Are you satisfied with your PhD? You need to think, yes.
Yes.
I'm more than satisfied, I'm ready to hire, whatever you say that. Have you read the latest literature? Why did you read this? You got to be able to answer that. But this is not a problem if you did not read a piece of literature that the examiner wants you to read. You say, okay, I'll include it in my corrections, and it's not a difficult question. Importantly, you do your own work and you mastered the field. Is your PhD worthy, or master's is your work published? Okay. So have you mastered the field? So this one has to do with the depth of reading that you have done. So if this is where you carving out the field is important. So if you're focusing your theoretical inquiry or theoretical contribution in one particular area, then you need to know who the gurus of that particular area is. And then you can say, well, the literature has not covered this, this and that, I'm covering that. Yeah. So that one has to do with mastering the field. So, remember Pak Rudy last time had a problem with the evaluators and saying that you do tourism, but I do not see any literature on the tourism or something like that. So, yeah, so that's important. That was what would help for abductive research is that abductive researcher sometimes, many times, do not know where the answers will lead to, because it's not framed in a particular manner, right? Or it's not meant to lead the social actors to answer in whatever field that we want them to answer. So they could be answering, on something about tourism or food or ethnic culture or activism or environmental, which you actually discovered, right?
That's right, that's right.
You can use that as a defense for abductive research, right?
Yeah. So in fact, I have a reason that why did you use this methodology? So I said that actually the edible gardeners, they're all from different backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds.
Yes,
so
yes.
it's not an ethnographic research.
Yes,
That's why I decided to
Good.
use
Yes. Good. That's good
phenomenological
defense.
approach. Yeah.
Good defense, yeah. They don't necessarily belong to one community in such, like one kampung or one, not a community of doctors, not a community of that. Yeah, it's a good. That's
And I
very
can even show the locations.
Yes, can
they're
show
all
locations, yeah.
staying in different places.
Good. Yes, a very strong defense. Yes, a strong defense. Yeah. For ethnographers, they would present a problem to them, especially the urban ethnographers. Not ethnography. Last time they would study the
That's right.
the tribes and all that, right? But now they have entered urban spaces as well. So that is where the ethnography will have some problem, unless they're studying like the street culture of whatever, the street kids or something. That might be one particular community. But here, no. That's a very good defense, by the way.
In fact, I'm more familiar with ethnography because that's what I used to read.
Yes.
In terms of anthropology.
Yes.
But I see that actually this approach is used very much in. I mean, not answering the Viva question, but it's used very much in healthcare.
It's healthcare. Yes. True. Yeah. If you go with phenomenology, the healthcare people tend to use.
They take it very seriously, and then because the healthcare situation is so complicated, hospital is so complicated.
Yeah, true.
And then the doctor has one point of view, the nurse has one point of view. The doctor and the nurse even usually don't agree with each other. And the pharmacist has another point of view, and then they have to go and interview everybody to find out what is actually going on. And the patients, of course.
Patients are true. So they might even be using. Even in the same hospital, they use different everyday language, to describe. And the meanings are different, of course. Yeah, true. Yeah. And if you're right, if a lot of phenomenological research is done in the hospital with the doctors, true. Yeah, I've seen that one too. For some reason, I never, I never thought about it too much about it. But true, I've discovered more on those folks. And their research methodology will include phenomenology somehow.
Because healthcare has become like an industrial, has become industrialized.
Yes.
So the phenomenology help to deconstruct,
Yes.
The interface, there's so much different interface in the healthcare system.
Yes.
So then they try to deconstruct actually, what is the patient experiencing?
Yeah.
And then the patient is being pushed from one thing to another. Yes.
Yeah. And the focus is on the experience, right?
Yeah, experience.
And the consciousness, yeah. True, yes. And I noticed that. Yeah, I never had that question in my mind before, but now you highlighted this to me and said, oh yeah, it makes sense. I noticed that, but then I never, I see a lot of them doing this kind of research, and they teach this one too. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I think I'm confident, right, that you get through, right, and just stick to your guns. You're okay, Salma. I won't have too much worry. Inshallah. Yeah, you gotta pray a lot more between now and then. Pray more, of course. Right? Prayer works. Remember that. The prayer always works. Right? Okay. Anything else? Madam Muftadi, you have anything you want to say?
No. That's okay. Yeah, but we need to know, maybe they ask you, what's your content analysis? Because I received the questions. But I think your research is, I don't know, it's actually content analysis, right?
What term do you use? Do you use thematic analysis? I remember you wanted to use inductive last time or something.
No, actually,
I should know that one, right?
Thematic.
Do you use that word?
I didn't use thematic analysis.
You don't use that word, right?
No.
You don't use that phrase, right? Okay, it's a good one to start thinking to your answer. If they ask that question, you can talk about the how you did the research, but would you call it content analysis, thematic analysis? You just do a bit of reading on those things. But if you were to answer that way, then they might say, "Oh, you got to write about it."
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think it's also called interpretive phenomenology.
interpretive phenomenology.
Yeah.
Yes, interpretive. Yeah.
But I didn't call it that in my thesis.
That one. You can use that one. That's the right one because you're doing interpretive. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're still interpreting, but interpreting at the second or third order construct, right? But you don't interpret at the data collection level. So there's a difference. Okay, all right. Alhamdulillah. So this is you're reaching to the peak. The Viva is the peak, by the way, right?
Yeah.
It's the peak. There's still journey after Viva. Don't forget that it's at the peak, but you got to go down the hill after that. But not the metaphor is not going downhill. There's a negative metaphor, but it's still there's a journey after Viva. But this is the peak. Once you've done your Viva, inshallah, I'll be.
You come back from the battle.
Yeah?
You
Come back from that. You still need to come back. You need to come back.
to collect everything,
Yeah.
to check everything,
Yeah, you got to check. Yeah. You got to heal the wounds a
to
bit.
get the better result.
Yeah. So, alhamdulillah, you reach this level. It's actually, you can bring this up to a PhD level. Could have been a PhD thesis easily.
Thank you, but no, I don't think I have time to do this again because I had some time, during the pandemic, and then, unless I retire lah.
Samir is raising his hand.
Samir, okay, Samir, you have a question?
Yeah, he's raising his hand.
Samir, Ramadan Kareem. Alhamdulillah. Ramadan Kareem. You said Ramadan Kareem or Ramadan Mubarak?
Kareem.
Kareem. So Kareem is
Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem, same.
all the same.
Yeah.
But better.
How are you?
Yeah, بتكلم كريم.
Alhamdulillah, we are good.
Hello, everybody.
Say Ramadan Kareem, but Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. Oh, okay. Learn something new.
Ramadan Mubarak, same.
That's it? Then full of thoughts.
It's cultural.
I'm telling you this, but about usually because Kareem we call Ramadan is God generous for people. God generosity
Generosity, yes. God's generosity.
for people. Yeah. So Kareem came from generosity is Kareem or Karam. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Mubarak is great.
Mubarak blessing.
Blessing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Samir, you have a question to ask or something?
Yeah. Did you receive an email from the Gulf Study Center, bro?
I received your email, I think.
Yeah, I think the conference will be in April.
Oh, April.
What's that?
Conference.
Conference in April.
The conference will be in April.
April, okay.
10th of April.
All right. Yeah. You have, and this is an article of the Belt and Road Initiative in the Arabic Arabic region. What's it called? Let me see. Security challenges and implications for Arab region. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
My name and your name on the agenda as discussion in the first season, in the first day.
for the first. All right. Okay, got it. Thank you. This is what we discussed last time, right? What are the key? Okay, yeah. This is what we discussed last time, Samir. Right.
What?
This is the from the outcome we discussed last time, the determinants of economic and geopolitical change. Yes. Okay. What else you want to tell me? Let me listen to what you want to say.
Okay, so will you be there?
There, where's there? Where is this conference?
Okay, I think during WebEx or
The back.
Zoom.
Oh, okay. Where is the conference?
Where or when?
Where?
Where the conference? Where?
In Washington D.C. in Georgetown University.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Georgetown, not this Georgetown.
Not this
I wish that Georgetown would get it.
Yeah. It's okay. I think I'll go to Beijing instead of Washington DC. Yeah.
The sun.
But I can attend the WebEx. Is it WebEx?
Yeah.
If it's WebEx, it's possible for me to attend.
I'm not sure if US is WebEx.
Yeah, but Samir, how about you? You can present, right?
Samir, I think he will come.
Huh?
Yeah, and I will get the PowerPoint now, yes.
Okay. How about you presenting? You do not want to present?
Yeah, implication of the competition between major powers for the Gulf region, because I prepared this article.
Okay.
I finished already. And accepted, I'm already accepted.
Alhamdulillah. Let me ask you.